It's Flavour Friday again. Welcome back to the School of Wok in Covent Garden. My name is Ruby and today I am going to show you my version of roti. Okay, so roti is a style of fried flatbread. It comes in many different variations. Some of the recipes use dairy, they use egg. This recipe that I'm using today is a very, very basic kind of your first go-to trial of making roti. It's pretty fail-safe, so I hope you enjoy it. Today, we're just using some plain flour. We've got some warm water, some vegetable oil, and some salt. So I'll be using my mixer. You can do this by hand, obviously just by kneading it. I'm going to quicken the process a little bit by using my mixer. First we'll go in with 250 grams of plain flour. And then with our warm water, I'm going to add the salt to it first. Let that dissolve in the water and then we will gradually add it. You do want it to be quite salty. A couple of teaspoons go in. Let it dissolve. And then we'll gradually add it to our mix. So all of the water has gone in and then halfway through we add in the vegetable oil. So about 150 mils of warm water with the salt in it and about 100 grams of our vegetable oil. Now we'll just pull that dough out. It is super soft and sticky. So the best way to stop it from clumping to our hands is to just take a bit of that oil straight onto our hands so that we can pick up our little dough baby. And you'll see how incredibly soft and smooth that dough is. We'll take a clean bowl, add in a bit more vegetable oil to stop it from sticking. Make sure that it's well coated. And then out of a mix like this, I think I'll get 3 good size roti. Make it into a nice smooth soft ball and place it into the bowl. It is a really great texture to work with. Just make sure you've coated that oil all the way around so that they don't stick together. And then we'll add a bit more oil on top just to stop it from drying out. And then we have just beaten this into submission, so it needs time to rest. Minimum of 3 hours. If you can, overnight is perfect. Let's roll out our roti. So these have been resting for around 3 to 4 hours now. You can't see too much difference, but they are relaxed. Look how peaceful they are, just sitting in their bowl of oil. So we're not going to waste this oil. We're going to use some to put straight out onto our clean tabletop. And this will stop our roti from sticking to the surface. Make quite a big area for our roti because we do need to stretch it out quite a lot. Okay, so soft. And then it's just a simple task of really flattening it out. There is so many different techniques to doing this and folding it and rolling it. I grew up making parathas every weekend with my grandmother, and she'd let us do all sorts of different folds, the snail being my favorite. And I'll do something kind of similar to that today. Okay, little holes, don't worry about them. They will kind of tear in places, that's okay. Now once we've flattened it out as best as we can, we'll pulling it back together. Make a nice, long, stretchy dough. And then we're going to roll it in. So all the oil is in between each of these folds, each of these layers, which means when we come to frying it, it's going to puff up each of those layers. So now that I've got it all rolled out, I need to flatten it once again, just by using your hands. Now, if we were to use the dough that we had just mixed, then it would not be very easy for us to stretch it out. Really press it down until you get to about the size of a dinner plate, and then it's ready to put in the pan and fry. Let's cook our roti. I have a non-stick pan. I'm just going to use a pastry brush to very lightly put a little bit more oil on the bottom. I have it on a low heat at the moment. I do want it to cook through completely and not get too much coloration straight away, but you can always just gauge it as you go. Very gently picking up that roti and evenly placing it into our pan. And let's just watch the magic happen. As that heat comes through, it's going to push up all those bubbles and layers of oil, and then we're looking to get a really lovely golden color. Okay, so that heat is starting to push through now. I can see some bubbles starting to form. It's starting to crackle and pop a little bit as well. Best indication is have a little look underneath, see what's going on. It's still really nice and soft, but I can see it turning that opaque kind of color now. We'll wait until it gets a little bit more color on it and then flip it over onto the other side. Ready to flip now. Oh! It's so beautiful and golden. We'll get it nice and crispy on the other side. The idea is to obviously cook it all the way through the roti, but also you want it nice and crispy so we can smash it up and so it can get nice and flaky afterwards. Ready to serve. It's smelling so lovely. So once it's nice and crispy, you can see it started to flake and break. So this is a perfect bread to serve with a curry. I grew up having it as a breakfast treat, so we'd have jam on our roti or our paratha. I have actually made some green chutney. It's named very elaborately after its color, but it's a coriander and mint chutney. Now, my grandmother used to make this, and it would never last very long. We'll put the recipe in the bio there for you, and it is coriander, mint, and the special ingredient that makes it so tasty is coconut. We also season it with some lime juice, some tamarind, some sugar, some salt, some garlic, some chili. It's basically all of that good stuff all in one. So I am gonna cook a couple more of these rotis and then we'll have it with some of that chutney. Okay, so you can kind of scrunch them up, break them up, tear them, share them. That should be really crispy and lovely. I'll have it with a little bit of this chutney. It's such a comfort food. It's fantastic to have just like this with dips, with some jam, alongside a curry, however you like it. This roti dish takes me back to my childhood. What dish does that for you? What's your nostalgic dish that makes you feel right at home? If you enjoyed this recipe, please click on the link below, like and subscribe.